Welcome to True Force Loneliness. I did want to take a moment to talk about this. So, this is from News Nation. Indiana 10-year-old dies by suicide after being targeted by bullies. This is Sammy Teusch. Um, After being bullied, he had taken his own life. His family says they contacted school about 20 times, but it didn't help. Other parents in Indiana school districts say their children were also bullied. It mentions there's a hotline for this kind of thing, but I want to kind of just really focus on the real problems. So Sam Tush, the father, says he and his family have been in a waking nightmare ever since his son died by suicide earlier this month after being relentlessly bullied. Um, it had been an otherwise unremarkable Sunday. Sam Tush was in the kitchen making eggs and pancakes. Then he found his 10-year-old son, Sammy, unresponsive in his bedroom. The boy's body was warm, but he wasn't breathing. So the father did CPR, talking to his son as he did. I kept thinking, if you hear my voice, you're not going to leave me. Uh, um, Sammy's father said he replays that scene in his head over and over. So I guess what the truth about what he was the kind little boy who used his birthday money to buy presents for his parents and siblings rather than for himself, and who spent his vacation to Florida picking up trash on the beach because he wanted to leave it more beautiful than he found it. I'm not sure. Sammy was the best kid with a wonderful personality. So they have a GoFundMe setup. Um, Despite his family demeanor, Sammy had been the target of bullies who made fun of his teeth and glasses. He was attacked on the school bus, with bullies stealing his iPad and using it to hit Sammy in the head. The boy returned home with his glasses broken, a black eye, and scratches on his face and neck. Just last week, he was attacked again, this time in the bathroom. Tush and Sammy's school, part of the Greenfield Central Community School System, was aware of the problem as his parents had contacted staff and teachers more than 20 times about the bullying. The school itself would call Teusch, telling him Sammy was afraid, hiding in the closet or under the desk. That sounds familiar. Only recently did Teusch learn that in the night before his son died, there were threats made to Sammy that he would be attacked when he went to school Monday. Now other parents are coming forward. They're asking what is going on at the school district. The Olsen family said they discovered their son Braylon was also planning to take his own life at just 11 after being bullied for his weight and speech impediment in gym class. The graphic details of his plan constantly replay in his mother's mind. Brandy Olsen said they made every change to help their son with therapy and medication. Olsen even quit her job working for the state, so he is never left alone. Meanwhile, though, no changes have happened at that school. This bully is still in Olsen's child's class, and he's tormented regularly. But when it happens, the bullies aren't the ones asked to leave the class. Olsen's son is. That's stupid. Justin Henderson also has a son who was bullied, calling him fat and ugly, and the N word. Oh, great. There's been two occasions, Henderson said, where he's had to pick up his child from school with head injuries. What is going on at this school? One or two incidents I can understand, especially if it's like hazing or bullying. I was like, fuck. Henderson says his own son has thought about ending his life. To me, as a parent, having to listen to my child say he wants to kill himself because nobody's standing up for him, somebody's always bullying him or causing problems with him, that's a problem for me as a parent, Henderson said. Greenfield Central Community School said in a statement that they better say something. They said that the Greenfield Police Department are investigating Sammy's death. The district confirmed that in the last 18 months, contact between school personnel and Sammy's parents was frequent. Our hearts are poured out to the family at this time, the statement said. Well, where were you? Deputy Chief Charles McMichael of the Greenfield Police Department said the investigation is still ongoing and not a lot of information can be shared. Police are urging the parents to talk to their kids. The more conversations you have about everyday life, the more comfortable they will be about talking about the hard stuff, the statement said. This is a child here. Now, I feel like, now obviously this is really ridiculous that's going on. Stories would like what happened with Gannon Stouch, with his mother stabbing him, and Gabriel Fernandez being tortured by his stepfather. And that's on the parents. Here it's on the school. And I'll tell you, there's another side to the coin. Sometimes you have dumb parents who don't know how to raise their kids, so they stick them in any school, and whatever happens, happens. So that happens too. There's the father. So I don't know what had really happened, and something. I mean, they should have pulled their kid out of that school the minute that happened. I mean, the second they saw bullying, maybe mom and dad never got bullied, and they just didn't. They kind of scratched their heads about it. But if you've ever been bullied in school and you have a kid and you see some evidence the kid is suffering, like that first time, you get them the fuck out of that school. I got transferred from school to school to school. You know, I feel like in this way, in one extreme, this kid is like me, right? The weakest of what I could be. And then there's the other end of the spectrum between Sammy and this dude right here. Very extreme images here. This is a kid that was probably also bullied and had a hard time. Unlike Sammy, though, he didn't go right away. He decided to take people with him. So um, I think the two biggest things that kept me from being Cho was that my father loved collecting guns. I've talked about this before about why I hated that back house where my dad had classical music and there were rats underneath the floorboards and guns and cameras and old dusty old books and stuff. But my dad lived in his alcohol and everything. My father wanted me to like guns as much as he did. I felt like it was conditional love. I felt like nothing I did was going to fucking matter because it was about what he wanted to do. So for me to love guns and to have a fascination with guns was not on the table. For Cho, it wasn't. He just went nuts with that. Okay. Um, did I ever chase the girls? I loved the girls. Okay, but girls got to the point where I was like, why was I bothering them? So, and even one time I sent a nice like card asking a girl on a date at my old credit card union, bank union, not like a credit union, not a bank. And they sent me a letter saying that this is going to end, that you're not going to do that no more. Even though I never harassed her, never threatened her, was polite, no threats, nothing. Okay. The problem is, as guys, we're so cowardly in the way we talk to girls that we always write love letters and and we do it in such a lame way that the girl's just like, what the fuck is this, right? So I was interested in the bank clerk that I was like talking. I was in my like late 30s, I think. Yeah, I was in my late 30s, and I was trying to ask her out, and I got a letter from them calling what I did sexual harassment and for me to stop. So I would chase girls around campus, but not in a way where the police got involved. Basically, it was just me being stupid. So I stopped. I had to stop. I had to stop what I was doing. I wanted love so much. But this guy got the police involved. That was the problem. The other thing too is that this whole thing about taking other people's lives and then taking your own at the end. How many people do that? Do you know they don't feel bad for you, dude? They don't feel bad for you. They're going to feel bad for the victims. That's just how it is. So I'm not this guy and I'm not Sammy because I'm still here talking to you, all of you. And yet I was bullied, I was harassed. Um, I'm kind of caught between these two things of between Cho and Sammy. I My mother told me the first time that I was interacting with kids, I hid in a corner in a dark cave in like one of those like Fisher Price kind of castles or whatever. I don't remember that. I was always hiding from other people because my mother had never had friends. My father would not allow it. My dad never brought friends over the house. You had two stupid people that decided we have to get it's time to get married. It's time to have kids. And look what happened. Look how we turned out. I'm a failure now. I'm not someone with a 401k job, no cubicle job. I don't have a wife and four kids. Um, because in a lot of ways it is my fault. The things I do as an adult is my fault. But also the things that happened to me growing up, that was on them. My father was like in control of my life up until the month he got sick was June 2002. I mean, he got sick, but when he wasn't sick, he just made me feel like less of a human being. And so, I mean, Cho, who attacked Virginia Tech University with 25 people's lives, he had shitty parents. Perhaps he was always bullied. And as I said before, I defended his motivations. Up until the day he killed people, I felt for the guy. Now, people would say he was a weirdo. I've seen some videos where people have talked about, hey, you never know when somebody's going to kill people. But I think this is true. But also, if there is a day that you can talk to somebody, I mean, the person that's going to kill people, right? If you can talk them off that ledge, if you see that person, I know you got your 10 circle of friends and you got your things to do and you have your everyday life of quote unquote normal people that aren't lonely, right? That have privileged lives. Sometimes you'll see somebody that doesn't exactly fit. Um, Try talking to them, and I don't want to imply that it's your fault that people do bad things. What people do is their fault. But I think we as a society, we as a civilization have an obligation to try to incorporate some small village mentality when we see somebody who could be us fall apart or start to fall apart. Maybe try talking to that person. Um, I don't know what could have happened with Sammy Teusch, because that happened recently, and I really wanted to talk about it, but I didn't know what I was going to focus on. I think the focus is that I'm somewhere, this kind of seems like me, but sitting on a this is me sitting on a park bench, right, or a bus stop trying to figure stuff out. Um, I'm somewhere between the guy who hurt people and the kid who was hurt so much. That's where I'm at. When you think about why didn't I get this job in Hollywood or whatever, as I tell you right now, my only skills are storytelling and doing this. Yes, I could go back to blue collar hard labor work, but if it's only a matter of time before it the hard work was never the problem. If you gave me a job of trim the yard with the lawnmower, use the weed whacker, just can you trim my yard for me because I got my other stuff to do. I'll give you a couple of $100. I'll give you $100 per hour just to cut the things, and then you made a couple of $100 for like a couple of hours of work a week, or even not even, it's like $20 per hour. You come in 5 days a week doing stuff, and you make a couple of $100 a week. That's not the problem. It's not the hard work. It's dealing with other people who roll up their eyes and don't want to do the work and are there. They're only there because they got to pay out that child support, or they got to pay out their gambling debts, or whatever credit card debts, or whatever stupid thing they did. It's that the reason why I tell you some of my skeletons is because I'm not a perfect person. Nobody is completely innocent, sitting there like a wallflower, what a term that is, not absorbing air and never, and bad things happen. I had a hard time getting through nursery school, hiding from the kids at age 5, at age 6, getting through kindergarten, getting through first, second, third grade, getting through elementary, middle school, high school, and even part of college. I just felt hated all the time. I still do. Why do you think I'm an incel now? And why did I tell you I don't like my own people? Mexicans tend to be moral authority based on the shit that comes out of their ass. We love to talk down to people and tell people off. Even though we ourselves don't practice what we fucking preach, we tell people what to do and how to do it, and we just talk at people. And there's too many people who did that. Too many people who made me feel like ending myself. Like, what's the point then? What's the point? What's the point of living if everybody's going to be an asshole? Maybe if a lot of you, anybody who's a Chicano and lives in a poor neighborhood, maybe if you motherfuckers hadn't busy being narcissistic assholes and like try to suck your own dick and tell me what to do, maybe I wouldn't be such a loser. But again, as I tell you, my own choices lead me to my own fate. I could just run away, but I would run away homeless. There's a lot of bad choices I have to end up making if something doesn't go the way I need it to go. I know what I like doing and I know what I enjoy doing. And I see people with shittier morals than me get paid, okay? There are people who have done worse things than I have done get fucking paid like Harvey fucking Weinstein. As far as women go, any woman that thinks that I'm on the same moral level as Adolf Hitler or Weinstein can stay in the kitchen. I know. Hard thing to say, but I'm tired. I'm tired of being poorly judged. I'm tired of hostilities. I'm tired of prejudice. This is where I'm at right now. I just don't know what the fuck is going on. And right now I don't care. I got some breakfast to have. I'm going to try to focus on positives. We got open house to do. I don't know what kind of house I'm going to be moving into. If it's going to be for my own good. Am I doing the right things in my life? I don't know. I said to myself, I'm going to treat people differently, better than what I've done before. And I don't want the past to catch up to me in a horrible way. I just want things to be better. So I don't have a solution, but I know what the problems are. And I hope you know what your problems are too and hope you can fix it. But obviously, the best thing you can do to prevent what happened to Sammy, just do what I do. Do YouTube. Fuck the trolls. Don't do what Cho did. Better to exploit people's illegal dealings and stupidity rather than put one in their head. Better that way. What is it that Jason Bourne said to his father? Not his real father, but um, what's the guy? Albert Finney in Ultimatum. You don't deserve the star that they give you on the wall at Langley. So he better to exploit people than to kill them. Better to exploit people, expose people than to kill them. If you're going to go after somebody that hurt you, better to exploit their truths than to make them look like complete victims and make you look like the ultimate terrorists. Until next time, we'll see if there's another topic about something like this down the road.